Makes you start kicking ass, just like it said at the beginning of the program.
Man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
Sending your ass on the jabroni jet to the other side of the territory, brother. The Alabama Hammer.
Nightmares are the best part of my day.
The goods from the wood.
Hot damn!
Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley.
I'm Pat Riley.
And that stunning silence you hear is...
Well, there was no stunning silence because you just steamrolled over it.
I can add
No,
silence.
don't add silence.
Oh, boy. Mr. Goodnight's at a doctor's appointment at the moment. But
Yeah.
at any rate, we are pleased to be joined by our guest.
Neil Charles.
Neil
Yeah.
Charles is here, man.
Oh, man.
And
Our Christmas gift to you is we're bringing him back after the Christmas episode.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, people demanded you. They heard you on the Christmas episode. And we're like, we need to know more about this man. And so he's back, Neil Charles.
Oh, man. So happy to be here.
we gave you a
You
little...
demand and you command us to bring back Neil Charles, and that's what we do.
Yeah, we give you a taste at Christmas, and now here's a full length episode.
Yup.
I want you to start by telling us about your podcast because when you walked in here, you go, "I got the same mixer."
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm like, we're podcast brothers.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I have a podcast, and it's a retro hip hop podcast. It's called Swatches and Boom Boxes, and it's hosted by myself and my co-host, good friend, funny comedian Jim Search.
Okay,
And we used to do it in Brooklyn because that's where I'm from.
and
that's where I'm from.
That's where all the good old school hip hop came from too.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right?
Bronx, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And what we do is we would have like a guest, and it would usually be like a comedian, like local comedian, and they would pick an album from like, I guess 1993 to about 2008, 2010, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And then we would review that album track by track, and we would ask them, like, when this album came out, where were you?
Yeah.
Like, how did you come in contact with this album? And then we would just review every single song. At the end of it, we would do this thing we call the segment, Top 5 with a Twist, where we get our guests to like give us their list of like top 5, and then we would, always switch it up. Like maybe it might be top 5 rappers from Atlanta, top 5 female rappers, top 5 soundtracks, top 5 underrated rappers, things like that. Top 5 rappers who are actors, and we just would have fun with it.
So, in explaining the concept, the first thing that jumped to my mind, because if I know anything about hip hop music from 1993 to 1998, how many skits did you guys review? Because that was every other goddamn track.
Quite a few, because that used to be a thing. They don't do that anymore.
It's
they don't do
crazy. Like even going back, I mean, I don't know. We could even go into this. When was like the downfall of that? Because there's skits on the College Dropout.
Right.
Like I was like listening to. I had that just on the old Spotify the other day. There's fucking skits on that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's 2004. That's my senior year of high school.
There's still some like interlude skits.
Yeah.
They're not as produced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll just be like the Future talking about a scenario.
Right.
Just like there's something happening.
Right.
And the Future's just talking about it.
But you also got more tracks back in
I like
the
how I
days,
call
too.
him the Future, by the way.
The Future.
Because when you had an album,
Yeah.
there had to be at least, 17, 18 tracks.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And now you're getting like 10.
There's 10 good tracks
Yeah.
and no sketches. Yeah. in between.
Exactly.
There's
Well,
no-
if you had 10 good ones,
yeah.
that's a classic album.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You're gonna get like 4 or 5 good songs, and everything else is just throwaway.
There's also a lot in that period of like minute and a half long good ideas that nobody fleshed out.
Right.
Where it was like, well, this beat sounds cool. I'm going to pop it in for a minute and a half, and
Right.
but we're not going to write the rest of it.
There was so my favorite one was there was one that Outkast did on the Stankonia.
Oh, I was about
where
to,
it's
I was
like
about
the
to go
one
to
that
Love
goes
Below, yeah.
it was just like I shit on MCs like lukewarm water, and I was like I forget what it's like, very short, because at the end it's like break,
God, they were the kings at that.
they were pretty good at that.
Sketches,
Yeah.
like little bits of shit. Like
My favorite,
Their interludes were crazy.
yeah, always.
yeah.
Hey, shout out, let me holler at you.
What's up, baby?
You got some pretty hair.
Oh, thank you, baby. You know I got a little bit of Spanish in me.
Girl, you ain't Spanish. That's a Hawaiian silky.
My favorite interlude was because was the one at the end of Dog Shit by Wu-Tang Clan, where it's just like them just like roasting people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of at least the
Your shirt looks like a dish rag.
Yeah.
Your shirt looks like a curtain. Was that the Lamont Sanford dress shirt?
DJ Cat shirt wearing dude. Yeah.
You look like you should be in a lore video spinning, breakdancing on your lips.
There's at least two that I could think of that come to mind that just are fights at the end, where one of them is and like not like funny people yelling at each other, like just like the sounds of like fists and people falling and stuff. I believe at the end of Rollouts.
Come on, what's up? What's up? Come here. Come here. Go to sleep. Go to sleep right now. Right now. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
I'm like, this is such a fun song to end with like the most disturbing like thing ever. But yeah.
I mean, there's some that are just like the interludes will distract from it. Like a lot of mad stuff that's produced by like Mad Lib, they go like really over the top on it. Like, because one of my favorite rap albums is O.J. Simpson by Guilty Simpson.
Oh,
and
man.
like that like the parts where he actually has. Like it's so disjointed because his tracks are amazing, and then there'll just be some random like interlude or like a snippet or something like that goes way too long. And
He
you're just
does
like,
that.
This rules. Why are you stopping this? Why are you stopping the momentum?
What would you say is like, or a couple of albums that maybe kind of define that era?
Oh, there's so many. I think Ready to Die
Yes.
by Notorious B.I.G.
Which, by the way, side note, because I do occasionally, we have, we'll take a picture and post it on Instagram after the episode so people can see what you look like. And I do have this gigantic cabinet of records, and I've gotten tweets before being like, Jesus, why do you have so many records? Of all of these records, the most expensive vinyl I own is a radio pressing of Ready to Die.
Nice.
That I found at a thrift store for like 50 cents. Just think. And here's the thing. When I bought it, I was just like, oh, dude, fuck yeah, I'm buying this. Yeah, of course. I love this record. And then it wasn't till later I looked it up. They have never pressed that record on vinyl.
That's crazy.
So whenever that happens, it's weird because I'm in this position where eventually they're going to re-release it on vinyl because vinyl's pretty much like the last still growing physical medium, but before that record's like worth a bit. So I kind of have to like unload it if I really want to before they repress it. But they took out all of the interludes, all the sketches. It's just it was for radio, so it's just Juicy and Big Pop, like it's just the singles basically, but that's the only vinyl version of that album that exists at the moment.
Yeah, that was our first episode. That was episode 1.
That's that album's so good.
So that's one that I think is pretty iconic. I think Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style.
Yes, absolutely.
That's another one. Wu-Tang Clan, Into the 36 Chambers. We also did Old Dirty Bastard, Return to the 36 Chambers.
That album's great. That's actually a really underrated album because like ODB has his persona, and it really overshadows the fact that like he was actually really good. He was a really good lyricist.
He was.
And he would just like had the perfect balance of throwing in just like the thing that people abuse nowadays of like throwing words together that sound cool.
Right.
But actually like in the larger scheme, it's like, oh, he's actually sticking to a theme as opposed to him just putting together work. Because a lot of the Wu-Tang get claim like Ghostface Killer was always big on like, okay, here's a line that Genevieve Sasso is like, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
And that's not even a thing, but he just says it because it like, oh, I just need to fill in a line and this sounds cool,
We're still waiting. It's like I let my guests pick the album that they want to review. Yeah. So there's a few albums where I want people to pick
which ones
because I want to talk about them. Ghostface Killer, Iron Man.
Yeah.
That's one. De La Soul, Stakes is High.
Man.
That's another one.
Yeah.
I love that record. That one and was the one after it Mosaic Thump that was really good. That had that one with Ain't No Good with Chaka Khan. Like throughout most of college. That was my
dude. If you want to come on my show,
wake up song.
We
Man.
can make that happen.
Okay, yeah,
because I do the West Coast side of my show.
Oh, okay.
Here in LA.
Okay, yeah.
And then obviously since I do it in LA, my co-host Jim, he would Skype in.
Yeah.
And then vice versa when we do it on the East Coast.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
so
nice. Well, yeah, man, I
make that happen.
I think Pat and I could probably each do a different one.
Most def.
Has anyone ever done Wu-Tang Forever? Because that's a hilarious story.
They have not.
Yeah, that's a hilarious story behind that.
That's the one
That's another one. That's another one.
2 discs, right?
It's 2 discs.
Yeah.
So it was basically one of those ones where it's like, all right, we're just going to let everyone, we'll give you God a song. And it's hideous. I think it's black shampoo. It's like
I feel
terrible.
bad for you, God, sometimes.
He
has an album.
Yeah. He does. He does.
I don't have it.
Yeah, but
it sold 5 copies.
But
he bought 2 and his mom bought the other 3.
So the thing was that it was such a production wise such a boondoggle that they went into so much debt over that album because of the recording costs, how long it took, the pressing, all this stuff. They just went into like massive debt, and they actually had to go on tour because they were just like, shit, we got to go on actual tour because we just blew so much money trying to like seriously, because there was all sorts of things with it where they had like embedded online, like on the thing you put enhanced CD content where you put in the CD, and it's like this kind of thing where it's like, welcome to
the Wu Mansion,
Mansion, yeah, and then you have to like. You see little snippets of videos that are like 120p.
Yeah.
So they're all pixel like, this is 10 seconds of the Method Man music video, and it looks like somebody mosaiced his face, because it's so poor quality.
Looks like the Method Man video wouldn't sign the release on Cops.
Yeah, exactly. And then there was like a thing where you had to put in passwords, but they didn't tell you what the passwords were, and then you would have to like look around. But this is before the internet, so you'd have to like search it out, but they didn't tell you where you'd search it out. Where if you typed Stanley Cups in there, you would get some weird little 20-second video of some shapes or something like that.
I remember they used to do that.
The Wu Mansion. They had the Wu Mansion stuff on there. They've spent a lot of money on because they had to do the Triumph video over the top because they were like, okay, we need to sell this album, and they like sold a bunch, but not enough to recoup the debt. So it was just because there's and they blew all their money on that video, because if you look at the video for It's Yours, it's just like, all right, we got some footage that somebody shot on a handy cam. We'll just splice it together and put some foggy effects around it to make it look like it's not handy cam footage.
It's strange that they decided that going on tour would be the way to recoup a loss, considering how many people are in that band and what the expenditure for sending all those people.
Well,
on tour.
because they who the hell they toured with Rage Against the Machine, I think.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like it was Rage and Wu were touring together.
I don't think they came through Alabama, unfortunately.
Yeah, probably.
I would have gone to that. That sounds amazing.
I think it fell through, actually. I think like if I'm not mistaken, like it started and then they were just like, this is not sustainable whatsoever.
Because there's 40 people on the tour bus.
And ODB smoked PCP and got arrested. Now he's in jail again. You know?
Oh, man.
It's a very fun era, though. It's a fun.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. I mean, it was kind of that era where like the golden age stuff, like all the critically acclaimed sort of things, and like legitimize it. And then it's like, all right, now we've like set the point where it's like hip hop can be critically acclaimed and also really commercially successful. Let's just see how we can draw it like the extremes on either side. So it's like, all right, let's make the most commercially accessible stuff, and then let's make the most possibly lyrically acclaimed stuff, where Puffy just got to a point where it's like, I'm just gonna play this song that's popular, take the lyrics out, and just rap over it with no manipulation whatsoever of the audio track. Where it's like, I'm just gonna put "Let's Dance" by David Bowie on there, and just rap, poorly.
Or the Every Breath You Take, that one.
Oh yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah.
Where he falls off the motorcycle in the video.
Yeah.
That's the
rap video.
Yeah, that was the B.I.G. tribute.
That
was.
And then weirdly, when they did it at the VMAs, Sting still just sang the "I'll be watching you" part. I don't even think he said "missing you," which is funny. It's like, I don't think either Sting didn't get the memo or was just like, no.
Yeah.
I'm singing more Virgin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This song's about surveillance.
This song is about the police state.
I know. It always cracks me up when people do like wedding dances to that, where it's like, this is about stalking in the police state.
Right. Yeah.
There was like a golden age of actually, I remember the next the next video music awards after Ben Stiller was hosting. They had this amazing commercial where he comes out in a white tuxedo, and Marilyn Manson's sitting there looking at him. He's like, Marilyn, what do you think about this? He's just like, you look stupid. You look like Poop Daddy from last year. And he like called him Poop Daddy.
No, it's too much like that Poop Daddy guy, and then Sting's gonna come in and it's gonna be a big mess. They did it last year. It was stupid.
It was like the most bizarre commercial ever.
That was back when MTV used to play music.
What about videos?
That too?
Yeah, the videos were amazing.
Yeah.
Some of them were like really great.
They used to really push the song, and everybody used to. I can't even tell you the last time I watched more than one video in a row on a show. Because there used to be like Rap City, and then MTV had like, they had Yo MTV Raps, and
right. Well, then
lots of those things.
Well, they had Yo MTV Raps like in the beginning of the 90s. By the end,
but then it was done.
I feel like it was just so like integrated into the whole thing that you could just be watching Sixpence None the Richer singing, "So Kiss Me," and then it would be Ja Rule or whatever the next video. Like,
but then MTV still had like music videos and music. It was just in abundance. And TRL was around for a while.
That's coming back.
It's coming back.
Which I'm like, I think at this point anyone who remembers TRL gives a fuck, and the people who don't, I don't know.
But who's hosting that shit? Because it's not Carson. He's like 80.
Yeah.
So
it's probably like Kurt Loder. Like a 100-year-old Kurt Loder.
Amazing.
Just like chain smoking.
I would love it if they brought out a bunch of like old fucking VJs that
downtown Julie Brown and Kevin Seal.
Okay, they'd have to drag Kennedy off of her weird libertarian MSNBC gig. I always get her and SE Cup mixed up. Who's on MSNBC? Who's on CNN?
Oh no, Kennedy's on Fox News.
Oh, she's on Fox Business. Okay.
Yeah.
God,
Kurt Loder got her hooked on libertarianism.
Yep.
And
Bill
then
Bellamy
she went
be
to
ready.
Bill Bellamy, Ed Lover. And the other Dr. Dre.
I would love if they just did like if MTV was just like totally didn't understand how anything worked and just brought all those people back just to watch confused millennials be like, yeah, we don't.
Yeah, they should. It should just.
These people are.
Yeah, it should just be like Brandon Wardell and a bunch of people from the 80s MTV. Oh, that's lit, bro. That's lit, man.
Hey, Ed Lover, do you blast six, bro?
You blast six? And then Ed Lover's just doing the Ed Lover dance the entire time.
God, I think that's a show.
Yeah,
I think that's a fucking show.
It's called the Eric Andre Show.
Just old people have to explain who they are to millennials on MTV.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Just the hit. Like some of the rap videos were absolutely amazing because some of them were just really low rent, and then some of them were just like people paying like $2 million on a clip.
Yeah, like Hype Williams would produce.
I was about to say
amazing videos.
Hype Williams, by the way, the king of the wet parking lot video.
Oh, of course.
The wet parking lot fisheye lens video.
Every one of his videos, just he'd unleash a fire hydrant onto a parking lot, get it reflective as it was like black glass, and then he would put up big lights, and then the name of the song song would be in gold.
Yep.
And then he'd put it on a fisheye lens and a wind machine.
I'm trying to think how many Hype Williams videos did not feature rain or like wet pavement in them.
Do you include
Almost
bright
all of them.
colors? You got to include bright colors.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that was a big thing.
The best videos of that era, I always loved the Busta Rhymes videos.
Yup, you read my mind.
Yeah, those
You
were
read
just so
my mind. Yeah.
they're so fun.
Yeah.
And they're so like visually arresting, and Busta Rhymes is insane.
Yeah. That,
I'm waiting for someone to pick that.
yeah.
Nobody's done any Busta Rhymes on my podcast.
There's a bunch of good ones, too.
Because
Apocalypse.
the video for "Gimme Some More,"
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
amazing.
You know what?
Still one of my favorites.
It's weird you guys mentioned Busta Rhymes because just the other day,
Little Busta Rhymes is like I hit my head. Flip mode. Flip mode's the greatest.
Yep. Yep.
And it's a little Busta Rhymes, and his hair for some reason is like just as long as the kid.
just the other day, I was thinking about the video for How's It Gonna Be with Janet Jackson, where his head turns into like it's like the water from the abyss, where he like turns into the Secret Life of Alex Mack, and his head just begins stretching as he does his solo in the song.
But
where
come
he's-
on.
where- yeah, where
It
he's-
was really weird.
I don't think people give him enough credit.
They don't.
And I don't
They
think,
don't.
for that matter, Janet Jackson's videos are always super fucking weird.
Oh, they
too.
were great, yeah.
and they're always good. So if we're on this nostalgia kick as a society, they should make another song
Well,
together. I
yeah,
think
well,
it'd be great.
now it's like 400-pound Busta Rhymes because he's like
hey man,
quite large now.
Whatever.
But
Still
yeah,
relevant.
he can still rap.
relevant.
Still
yeah, no, I
relevant.
mean, yeah. But the what was the video that killed Busta Rhymes was that one that he did with Mariah Carey. The one where he sings, where he's like, "Baby, if I give it to me, I give it to you."
Oh yeah, that song.
Where his rhymes were just so ass in it because he was just like, Busta Rhymes is supposed to rap really fast and just like say ridiculous stuff, and then he's just like, I pulled up in the yellow Lamborghini. Like he just was given a lyric sheet, and he's like, I'll read this, sure. You looking fly in the Gucci bikini. It's like, come on, Buster, stick to brand.
He can still rap though. I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
Because the one thing that I always loved in all of his videos was the guy the weird looking guy. The guy that was like the little guy. I don't know if he was in the flip mode. I don't know if he was like, I don't even know what the Flip Mode Squad was.
Yeah, without
if they were other rappers or
They
just
had
his
an
friends.
album.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like the guy that like had the weird face, the little guy that would just be like making weird face, just like doing weird dances and stuff like that.
God damn it! What was
It was like his version of the robot guy from the Chappelle Show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He just put in everything.
Yeah, and it's just like, all right, and then give me some more video. It's like, all right, put him in drag, put big lipstick on him and stuff like that, and put him in.
Oh my god!
Put him in a dress.
I gotta look that up because I'm like, it's killing me now.
Yeah, that guy was awesome.
Yeah.
Talk us through it. What are you googling?
The weird guy in Buster.
Weird little guy Busta Rhymes video.
That guy ruled so hard. He was the best.
It was just very creative.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good.
And
So
yeah,
good.
he would do the thing where he would have. I remember the one where for Break Your Neck, he would just have like, all right, we got every popular rapper. Let's just have them do weird. Let's put Dr. Dre on a steamroller.
Spliff Star.
Split
is his
Star.
name.
Yes.
Spliff Star.
He rules. Yeah. But like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, we'll put Dr. Dre and me on a steamroller rapping, and then we're just gonna like have Ludacris and CeeLo and me sitting on a porch eating food in country clothes while a woman is push lawn mowing a lawn. You know,
It's like the Missy Elliott era where it was just really weird shit happening, and then it was a very infectious.
Hype Williams
hook.
did I Can't Stand the Rain.
Super
right?
Duper Fly,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
he also did like Sock It To Me and all those ones.
Did he do She's a Bitch? I loved that one.
Yep.
Where she had the bald head and it was all black and white, and she had the crazy sunglasses.
Yep. And then she creates the badonkadonk.
Yeah.
The word
Yeah.
badonkadonk.
Do you have a favorite video from that era?
It would probably have to be the Roots, Distortion to Static. Because the Roots, oh man, that's my favorite group of all
How many
time.
have you seen? You've seen them live before?
Yeah. I've seen them live once in college before they became the Fallon Band.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think that was like a period of time that if you went to college from a certain,
you had to see the
you've
Roots.
had to have seen the Roots at some college programming
Right.
event.
Yeah,
which is great because the alternatives are always crappy, like Guster.
Yeah. I saw them I saw them in Tuscaloosa one year. They played on the Quad for homecoming.
Nice.
And what was their opening? Their opening band was the Wayne Mills Band, and they were a local country band because somebody at the UPC was just like, there were two people at the UPC who were just like, country, rap, country,
Nice.
rap. And they're like, all right, you guys we'll do both.
Yeah, it's surprising that they didn't get Bubba Sparks or something.
But that would be the way to split that baby, I guess.
Bubba Sparks.
Oh, I love yeah.
Talk about grand opening and grand closing.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, he had the Miss New Booty. That was the last little before the whole
It
thing.
was a nice little Timbaland project.
Yeah, him and the Yin Yang Twins.
Yep.
But yeah, I saw him at the University of Alabama, and so they had this country band play first.
Nice.
And you could tell they were super stoked to be there because like they had never played with a famous band before because they were just like a local band.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were just like, oh man, we're so excited to be opening up for the Roots, man. But before they come out, we're going to play some country tunes. I don't know. This doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but anyway, it's going to be fun. And then they played their shit, and then the Roots came on. And before the Roots started, they had this gigantic pallet fire, probably 60, 70 feet tall of wooden pallets that they lit on fire. It's like a homecoming thing.
Yeah.
So while the Roots are playing, it's literally just the wind changed directions and the ash came back over the Quad, and we're all sitting there and just being rained down with ash. And I got back to my friend Richard's dorm and just like went like this with my hair.
That is insane.
And it was just like we were all like Pigpen from Peanuts, just walking back, just covered in fucking just a cloud of ash following us around.
Just present day Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's pretty much pretty similar to what's been happening all week here.
Yeah.
I saw the Roots in the rain.
Oh.
They were playing and it started raining, and it was awesome actually seeing a concert in the rain, especially like the Roots, where there's certain bands that seeing them in the rain is like a plus, and that was like it was like a cool environment to see them in. What was
the venue?
It was like the field at the college.
Was it Emory or?
Yeah.
Okay,
it was at the field, and it was fun, man. It was
so funny that we've all seen the Roots in college. I saw them
that's
at,
a rule.
Yeah, I've seen them at UConn. I went to UConn.
Oh, okay.
And it was the Roots with Redman opening.
Whoa!
Yeah, Redman
God.
opening.
That's an underrated rapper right there.
He
Redman.
is. He
Redman is. You said the top 5 underrated rappers. Redman, underrated.
He was on top for a while, but lately,
yeah,
it's just like, why don't y'all like Redman anymore?
What's he been doing besides direct-to-DVD comedies?
He has an album that came out maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was called it was either Red World or it was like, hey, look, it's Redman. It's some ridiculous title like that.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Hello. Is anybody out there?
And it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But he still rhymes, and he's around.
I'm sure he's still good.
Around.
Yeah.
But when he came to our school, he came to UConn and he opened up for the Roots. Like, he rapped a little bit, and then he brought a bunch of his friends that no one had ever heard of, and they all rapped.
Perfect.
And then he picked a bunch of kids in the audience, and they all got high on his tour bus.
Yeah.
While the Roots were on stage, and that was
Perfect. He did it the right way.
Yep.
Cool Keith came to our campus, right? And
he's insane.
Yeah, and Cool Keith did a perform. It was on Halloween, and we had a Halloween party. So like, just off campus. And it was like a total mob scene. There was like 400 people in this like house, and we had a guy in a there was the DJ who was progressively losing, like he was sticking to motif. It was like this weird beach motif. So he started out, he was DJing in like a wetsuit, like a Corey Glover Living Color wetsuit. Like a body glove wetsuit, and then he like then he went to like a grass skirt and like a coconut bra, and then he just was like wearing like a women's bikini at the end of for some reason. I don't know what, like if he like planned this or he was just like, I gotta find some stuff, around the. But Cool Keith showed up. And he was also on acid too. So
Yeah, that's accurate.
yeah. So
That's
Cool
accurate.
Keith shows up to the part.
Dr. Octagonacologist was on acid.
No, the DJ who was wearing the women's
okay.
bikini.
Okay.
And like he was like DJing in the women's bikini, and Cool Keith showed up, and Cool Keith just like he just dropped some just impromptu, like he dropped some bars, and it was just like afterwards the guy who was DJing was like, did I just make up the fact that Cool Keith was like showed up? And he's standing there and like he's like a 250-pound man in a women's bathing suit. And it's like, yeah. And he's like, oh man, I thought I hallucinated that. The best in my mind is like maybe like Super Duper Fly, or like the Busta Rhymes ones, or even like what's it called, the Crossroads by Bone Thugs.
Oh, that was really cool.
That was a great.
Such a sad.
We laugh about that all the time now too.
Yeah, I mean it's become like this weird reference of people, but it's just like. That was a really well done music video.
It was
like
when you see Eazy-E at the end?
Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah, well, I mean the thing with like the baby at the end, and it's like a very sad.
The whole goddamn thing is sad. I'm having a Macy's like PTSD right now.
We're Uncle Charles.
My Uncle Charles.
Well, it's like Uncle Charles is on the front porch, and they're like playing cards, and then the like Matrix looking Angel of Death shows up, like because he's wearing like Matrix gear or something.
He just comes out and then gives him glaucoma, and you're just like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Charles, I don't know. He just touched him, and then his eyes.
Yeah, he touched him, and he turned into Wes Borland from Limp Bizkit. But that music video was like, and it matches the like the somberness of the song. I mean, it was like it told the story because it was like the golden age of those like and then there would be like really just like this is like $120 music video, like all of Onyx's music videos. It's just like that cost about $300 to make that video.
So I was looking up, by the way, since we're kind of talking about 90s hip hop. The Grammys for those years, and it didn't start till the 1996 was the first best rap album.
Really?
Yeah. Which I was really surprised, but
I thought it was like I thought they would have announced that at the same time when they did like the metal. Best heavy metal.
Right, like the late 80s, right?
Yeah.
Because before that, I guess rap was considered pop.
Or R&B.
Yeah. Or I don't even know.
Because I think, or like R&B, the best R&B/urban release or something like some weird coding.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just going to go through and get everybody's takes on this because it's always, I mean, with the Grammys, it's always very funny.
Jethro Tull, Crest of a Knave.
Who wins and then versus, and not to take anything away from Naughty by Nature, but who they're fucking up against is
Naughty
crazy.
by Nature was actually like, they're another underrated rapper.
They are.
No, they're good.
They are.
They were not.
Because of Hip Hop Parade, that was like like Hip Hop Parade was the one that like, but like actually they're like Tretch and all that. They were like really good.
Yeah.
Like they were really good. Yeah.
So the first
East Orange, man.
Poverty's Paradise won the first best rap album at the Grammys in 1996.
It's a classic.
It's a classic.
Yep.
I'm not taking anything away, but listen to who they were up against.
Okay.
And the last one is very much one of these things is not like the other. Me Against the World by Tupac. E1999 Eternal, that's my personal pick for that year. That's a record that I listen to all the goddamn time still. Old Dirty Bastard, Return to 36 Chambers.
Wow, ODB was nominated,
and then and then I Wish by Skilo.
Wow.
Oh man.
Which weirdly just because of the, I hesitate to say morally relative universe.
He had a killer year. He had a killer year.
But that might be the one that people remember the most fondly in our weird post-irony nostalgic kaleidoscope that we've decided to live in.
It was a fun song.
I wish I was 6'5".
That's the song everybody kind of remembers from that.
Okay, what's after that? Because I imagine there's going to be a lot of Coolio.
Hey man, good call.
Yeah,
So-
The Grammys loved Coolio for a hot minute. I mean, now Coolio's doing like all sorts of weird stuff.
He's an old man.
Oh boy.
He was like, there was like one story that he was like, there's this porno site where it's basically they rent out a nightclub and have a big orgy. Right, it's like a series or a website for a porno site.
Did
and there
I
was
tell you
like
about
one,
this,
and
or
there
did you tell me about this?
and like no, I think
Because I know this too.
and then they like hired Coolio, so Coolio's rapping while people are just having sex.
Oh yeah, because you must have told me about this. Maybe on this podcast, but there is a picture, and I think Twitter will let us post this on Twitter if we can find it, of Coolio with a mic in his hand, rapping, fully clothed, and then just a weird Belgian man having his dick sucked, sitting on the side of the stage behind him. It's some freak show in Europe.
He looks just like his eyes are just like glazed over.
Right, and he's missing almost, but he's still committed to the dreadlocks. But he
only has this small patch.
He's got male pattern locks.
It gets you. It gets you.
Yeah, but he's just like he's there, and he's I don't know. I've never seen this video. I'd love to know what songs he was doing.
Yeah.
Like if he did Gangsta's Paradise.
I guess a check is a check.
Yeah.
At that point.
So all right. So I'll actually. How about this? I'll give you guys all the ones that were nominated. You guys tell me which one.
Sure.
You thought win.
Okay.
All right. So this is 1997. Big year. All Eyes on Me.
Tupac.
Beats, Rhymes, and Life by A Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
Gangster's Paradise by Coolio.
Yep.
The Score by the Fugees. And LL Cool J, Mr. Smith.
The Score won this.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I thought it was. It would be Coolio because I know that at one of those. I know at one of those award shows he threatened Weird Al.
Yeah, he did. He did. I think they brought them out together. He was pissed about that.
I think that was the next year.
Because it was Gangsta's Paradise, and then Weird Al had Amish Paradise.
Yeah.
Which was fucking amazing.
Yeah. What was the last one? There was The Score. What was the last album that was in that bunch?
Oh, Mr. Smith by LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that album's hilarious. Because he was in like full I'm a stud mode in this, where he's just like doing it, which is without a doubt one of the funniest.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like you just can't put on doing it, and I know it's not the intended purpose, right? But you just can't help put on doing it and just laugh. At least for me, because it's just like so ridiculous. It's so over the top.
By the way, Tribe Called Quest. What all have people done with that? Because Midnight Marauders. That's
oh yeah,
it's one of my top 10 albums of all time.
Oh, definitely. I think that was
Fuck
episode 2.
Oh, okay. Somebody brought that in.
Because I had this argument with some people in my class because I'm teaching people that are like around my age group. Are you Midnight Marauders or are you Low End Theory?
It's so hard. Midnight Marauders.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a Low End Theory.
I love Low End Theory too. I love it. But
Yeah.
Midnight Marauders was just unreal. Don't get me wrong. Check the Rhyme is one of my favorite songs.
Well, Scenario
ever.
at the end.
Scenario.
With like leaders of the new school. It's just like,
Yep.
Busta Rhymes again.
So the next year, it's 1998. All right. We got Puff Daddy and the Family, No Way Out.
Oh, God.
We got Super Duper Fly by Missy Elliott. The Carnival by Wyclef Jean.
That was fun.
We got Life After Death by B.I.G. And we've got Wu-Tang Forever by the Wu-Tang Clan. Which one do you think won?
Wu-Tang didn't because he bum rushed the stage. Puff Daddy, right?
Wait, was that the one where he
during
interrupted
Sean
Colvin?
Where he's just like, I spent all this money on this suit.
People forget that ODB did the Kanye West Taylor Swift thing.
Yeah.
And better.
12 years before.
Because he was just like, afterwards, he's just like, I know you're talented, Miss Colvin, and I apologize.
It's like, I'm just very drunk and on ketamine right now.
Wu-Tang is for the children.
It's for the children. Famous. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I took all the horse tranquilizer in LA. I love you. I like Sonny Came Home.
I like your work, Sean Coleman.
I look forward to hearing your song in grocery stores from now until we're all dead.
That was Puff Daddy in the family.
It was fucking Puff Daddy.
Yeah, which is trash.
God, the Grammys are fucking weird, man.
Well, no, because the Grammys are not a sign of quality.
Although I like the, well, I mean, sometimes the Fugees are great though.
It's all about who's nominated, right? Because occasionally they would have things in there that's like the stuff that's nominated. There'd be a couple things that are great, but generally there's like the thing that wins is like kind of butt.
Yeah,
it's nothing against the Fugees to score. That album is
that's a great album. Yeah,
it's amazing.
I mean, and shit, that list is especially for that that year before. All Eyes on Me, Beats, Rhymes, and Life.
Yep,
and those are two pretty big contenders.
Monsters. Those are monsters.
Not to take anything away from Coolio and LL Cool J, but up against those are those are all great. This is 1999. The nominees are Life and Times of S. Carter, Volume 2 by Jay-Z. The Love Movement by Tribe Called Quest. Tribe Called Quest just couldn't stop winning or getting nominated.
Well, I know
shit.
Love Movement did not win because we reviewed that too. We reviewed 3 Tribe albums. And that was the one where I was like, I'm just going to say it. This was a bad album.
Yeah.
This was bad. This is real bad because you knew it was over.
Yeah, it was the end.
They threw in a bunch of stuff because they were like, that's it. But then.
Didn't they all make solo records that year too, anyway?
They did.
Yeah, I know Q-Tip had his that year.
And then Fife made one, and it's very hard to find, but it was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay. Q-Tip's song, it was just commercial trash, but everyone loved it. That was Vibrant Thing and all that.
One. Yeah.
It was, and then he had another one after that no one cared about, but,
Let's see, Big Pun, Capital Punishment.
That was actually amazing.
And then the last one, Life in 1472 by Jermaine Dupri, who, while I love as a producer, should never rap. It's just my personal opinion. Because
this is a tough one. This is actually a tough one.
It is tough.
My guess is
This is hard.
This is between Jay-Z and Jermaine Dupri. I'm gonna say
I think Jay-Z won.
I think Jermaine Dupri won.
It's Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because
he did reference winning a Grammy on one of his later songs.
Because Jermaine Dupri, like, for the most part, it's his guest appearances.
Yeah.
Because he is not, like, I think he's less of a rapper than Puffy is.
Right.
If that sounds that's a ridiculous thing, but
he is literally an MC. Where he's just like, instead of like not an MC in a rap sense, he's literally the master of ceremonies, being like, "Hey, here's all the verses of my friends."
Yes,
which is fine, and that's sort of Puffy's role too.
Like he'll be on a Jagged Edge song, and then he's like, "Yeah, where the party at?
Right. Well,
so deaf where the party at?" And that's what he says. That's it. That's it.
He is like more. I mean, I guess Ludacris is technically the feature on this, but Ludacris steals "Welcome to Atlanta" so hard because he's literally going, welcome to Atlanta, Jack and Hammers, then Vogues, back to the Mac and Jack, and then fucking Jermaine Dupri is like, now the party don't stop till I walk in, and I'm like, dude, could you fucking do this slower? It's
you
crazy.
Can find me up in one tweet. And it's just like
crazy.
Club
how much
112 was just in some shopping center. Next to the theater,
I've wondered about
the theater that showed all the art house movies.
Because no offense, I've never considered Atlanta to have that many like notable clubs.
No,
Jermaine Dupri,
Club 112
spends like 10 minutes listing all these clubs.
Club 112 was on the corner of La Vista Road and Cheshire Bridge. It was next to an Ethiopian restaurant that was pretty awesome.
That sounds good.
It was the
At least you can go get spicy goat.
Oh no, and they would have the Ethiopia. They would bring the guys over from Ethiopia that were like musicians and stuff like that, and they were awesome because like a lot of them were just like the keyboard guys. Like they'd be like the guy with the big rack of keyboards, and they're all like.
Now that you say that, now I'm kind of like I want to go down there and ask someone where's Club 112.
No, Club 112
I don't want to go there.
Exist.
I just want to go to that
Club
Ethiopian
112 does not exist anymore. Yeah, it was just like they used to have college night there all the time, and people would be like, "Hey, we're going to Club 1Tweezy," and it's like,
did they say it like?
Yeah, shut up, Preston.
You can. Did anyone ever see Jermaine Dupri there?
No, Jermaine Dupri just probably got a phone book or went on like Cityscope or something and looked at like, okay, nightclubs in Atlanta. That song, and then he was just like Frozen Bad Ice. Like, what's that?
I always wondered about
Frozen Bad Ice is the place. It's like, no, what is Frozen Bad Ice? You just made that up because you don't know how words work.
I always thought Frozen. I've actually been meaning to have a serious sit down with you about Welcome to Atlanta and just checking all of the references because I always thought I was hearing that wrong because I was like, Frozen Bad Ice is I was like, is that ice cream store? Because what a bad name for that.
Incredible song. I can't even imagine how many people moved to Atlanta because of that song.
And reference it when they moved there. Yeah.
Well, I will say one of the saddest days ever is when I drove to Atlanta. I don't remember when this happened exactly, but I want to say it was around between 2008 2009. Driving into Atlanta, and I look up, and the So Def billboard was gone. That was because I lived in Alabama, so I would always come in from the west side, and you drive in to west from in through West Atlanta towards downtown, and there used to be a gigantic So Def billboard,
big yellow So Def billboard.
That was badass. And then one day I was driving, I was like, no,
business ain't going so well.
Oh, they took it down. Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird when I lived there, and you would see videos for like the young because I remember distinctly the Young Bloods video for Damn. Like they were like,
oh yeah, with Abdullah the Butcher.
Yeah, they were at Abdullah the Butcher's ribs and Chinese food, and it's just like, man, y'all are gonna get Legionnaire's disease in there. Everybody's getting hepatitis because Abby was always gigging himself and cutting himself and. Abby, why are you doing that? He's like, Coleman, I gotta get my heat.
People are putting very, very crisp dollar bills into the gig marks in his hand.
He just has like quarters and like all the change, like, all right, in his ridges in his head. Cutting himself in wrestling matches.
So this is the last one from the 90s because it was the 2000 awards, but obviously it's for what happened in 1999. So we got this one's pretty easy, I think. Busta Rhymes, ELE. Missy Elliott, The Real World. Nas, I Am.
Yeah.
Why wasn't Nas on all of these before this? Fucking We Missed Illmatic. We missed It Was Written.
Yeah.
Like all my favorite ones.
Yep.
And then The Roots, Things Fall Apart, and Eminem, The Slim Shady LP.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I would have loved to say that it was I Am. Yeah, but it's the Slim Shady LP.
Yeah,
it's the totally Slim Shady LP.
The one thing I remember about Eminem, by the way, when he came out, and this will tell you just everything you need to know about the way shit was back then. Growing up in Auburn, Alabama, my favorite radio station, it's still there. I think it's now 93.9, but at the time it was The Tiger, 95.9, 104.9. New Rock. Yeah, and then you go New Rock. They used to do Monday Night Cage Match, and they would. It wasn't before I'm going to throw water on the fire immediately. It wasn't literally a cage match, although that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
They would.
Well, no, I didn't figure that. I mean, when they say the Sunday night 6-pack, I don't think that the program director is sitting there like,
oh, I'm sure.
All right, I got a 6-pack. All right, pop a beer open. Play Montrose.
Oh, well, as a person who used to work radio on Sunday nights, we were.
No, but I mean,
But they, so Monday night would be the Monday Night Cage Match, and they would play 2 songs, and then whoever won the first night, they would play again like the next hour or something like that. And they, for some reason, it was all, at that time, it was fucking lights out, guerrilla radio, and fucking, rolling. Like it was just all that shit. And then also, My Name Is.
Yep.
Which is couldn't be less of a rock song if it tried, but because Eminem was like, well, he looks like us, so they would just put it on. And the fucker won the cage match every Monday night. They had to retire it like they used to do at TRL because it's like, of course,
nothing's gonna beat it.
Of course, if you put it up against this bullshit, then it's a funny song, and the guy's
I
clever.
remember that song the first time hearing, like watching the video. I was like, this song is butt. oh, look, it's George Murison, the real tall dude from the Washington Bullets.
I was like, it's really funny, but then at the same time, it's like he just pretty much controlled hip hop.
Well, and you know what? I only
everyone was dyeing their hair blonde, and
well, what I only figured out upon watching the Defiant ones, which if you haven't seen, by the way, have you watched that yet?
I have not.
They have on HBO. It's a documentary called The Defiant ones about Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine and their kind of partnership and their lives and stuff like that. And it's really interesting because they have interviews with all these people. But the thing I had never put together and I always found so fucking weird, the way I found out about the band Primus, is because at the beginning in the fucking weird ass radio edit, instead of saying, "Hi kids, do you like violence?" Eminem says, "Do you like Primus?"
Yeah.
Hi kids, do you like Primus?
What is Primus? And I'm fucking 13. And then I heard My Name is Mud. I was like, oh, this is fucking weird. I love this. And the reason, they were both signed to Interscope. And Jimmy Iovine.
Oh, very nice.
It was a promo for Anti-Pop, which came out that year by Primus. Like 99 was Primus's only like big year as a band, even though they'd been around for 10 years leading up to that.
Yep.
And then Eminem puts the plug in because Jimmy Iovine was like, I guess, in the room. And he was like, yeah, what's like a good substitute for violence? He's like, Primus?
Yep. That's when hip hop was becoming more of a business, and it was more commercial, and
it was just exploding.
It's like, oh, everybody's rich, and there's millions of dollars in this now.
That's when it became pop music. Essentially, that's when it made the full transition into being like, like pop music is hip hop or hip hop derived.
Yep,
like that the sound of hip hop and hip hop production became like the staple of like, okay, this is what pop music sounds like. This is what, a large portion of the listenership is gravitating to, is these production techniques, these instrumentation techniques, Yep. Yeah. And that was around the time where you started to see that shift like really solidify. Like you're listening to like a Mariah Carey song, it's like, oh, this is completely changed because, all this like Honey and songs like that.
Oh man! Oh, that song's badass. Yeah, I love that song. Oh man! Did Spike? Who did that? I think Hype Williams did that video.
Yeah,
because that's the one where everybody's on the jet ski.
Yeah.
God, that's a great video.
I was a big fan of that video. When I was
I think
starting a hormonal 13-year-old boy, just being like.
I was gonna say, I think we're all around the same age, so yeah, that's probably all Mariah Carey videos were very instrumental in the growth of young men between the ages of like 25 and 35.
Yeah,
probably.
Well, I mean, not as much as En Vogue, but those videos were awesome.
Oh man! Well, I know we got to get you out of here, Neil. Where can people find you on the internet, sir?
They can find me at my website, neilcharles.com. They can also find me on Instagram at Certified Hilarious. They can find me on Twitter, Neil Charles FTW for the win. And they can also find me on my podcast, Swatches and Boomboxes, on iTunes.
If you have any episodes that you'd suggest for people, like if they're starting out, beyond just the first one and the most recent, are there any like hits that you really want to? Like a good episode that you think like somebody would listen to this episode and be like, this is something that I'd subscribe to and listen to every week.
I think we have an episode where we talked about the album Jewels by OC.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And OC is a phenomenal artist from Brooklyn.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
He's amazing. I think he was in DITC. He was in that crew, with like Fat Joe and those guys back in the day.
Okay,
but he's just a phenomenal artist, and we did that episode with a very funny comedian by the name of Nasir Khan.
Oh yeah, I know Nasir Khan.
And hilarious dude.
Oh, that'll be great.
And that's a great episode that we just had a lot of fun just talking about the album and OC and everything. And then there's also an episode where Jim and I are really big fans of Sean Price.
Mm-hmm.
So we did Jesus Price Superstar.
Okay.
And it was a really cool time. And we didn't even have a guest that time. It was just me and him just talking about the album and our time we spent at the Sean Price Memorial, which Sean Price was one of the Decepticons, which is a big Brooklyn gang from like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And at his memorial, and they were rappers all over the place, like Sadat X was there, and Drew Ha was there, and then a Decepticon in like this huge dude, like 6'8", in a seersucker suit just comes out of nowhere crying, knocks over the candles in front of the memorial, like there's a big mural of Sean Price, and then he punches a hole in a wall, and then he slaps the mural and he's of Sean Price, and he's like, "Wake up, baby, wake up. Wake up, we all here. We waiting for you. Wake up."
Whoa.
And then a bunch of people are like, "Yo, you got to get the fuck out of here." And then that guy leaves, and there's a hole in the wall, and we were just like, "Did that just happen?" Yeah, that happened right now. That guy is a maniac.
Shit. What kind of wall was it?
It was like it wasn't like a concrete wall.
Okay, I was just like,
this guy is
was
like
he an
the
actual
Hulk.
Decepticon from Transformers?
I know, right? It was I guess it was like it was a solid, I guess, wood
Yeah, okay.
piece of
Still,
wall.
that's
and
fucking
he just
crazy.
put his fist through it. And it was like,
Fuck.
and they were like pictures of children painted on the wall. And he just was like, "I'm gonna put my fist through this. I don't give a fuck."
I like how he knocked over all the candles. And
Yeah, he did. Because they put the candles in like a pattern to say Sean P.
Oh god.
You know?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he just knocked them over.
Fuck.
And Sean Price's wife was there, and she had to come over and talk to him. She was like, "Hey, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but my kids are out here. You need to leave." Like, and he was like, "But I didn't even hit anybody. I didn't put hands on anyone." Blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, "You need to get out of here." And
Yeah.
rightfully so. He just disappeared.
I want so badly to orchestrate my own funeral to just be a disaster like that. I want to hire that guy to just walk in. Like, that's all I want, is just to break the fucking weird, awkward tension that is any funeral with just madness and a man coming in and punching the wall and being like, "Baby, please wake up. We're waiting for you."
Forget that. I want my mock funeral to be like that. I want to be alive to see that.
Yeah.
That's an idea. We could pay somebody to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially if, you're going to be dead in a few days anyway. Just say you went ahead and died before it happens, just so you can like hide in the back behind a two-way mirror just to watch a man punch a wall and see everybody react.
Worth it.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/thegoodspod. We're on Twitter @thegoodspod. And by the way, updated all episodes now, youtube.com/thegoodspod as well. Pat, what should the folks do when they get to iTunes?
Oh, they should rate, review, and subscribe. Spread the word. It'd be great to have more listeners and listen to Neil's podcast, listen to all of our friends' podcasts, but especially listen to ours.
Yeah,
because it
that's
shows the attitude of gratitude.
And if you don't have the attitude of gratitude, fuck you.
Yeah, it's true. That's what he says.
That's what he says. We'll see you next week. The Goods from the Woods was mixed, edited, and distributed by me, Rivers Langley. You can find the show on Twitter @TheGoodsPod. Our theme song was composed by DJ Smiles. Check him out on Twitter @DJ Smiles.